address tonight's game. I really want to apologize about, the other night. Apologize to the officials, to the Big Ten Conference, our fans, our university, our everybody. I mean, it was, I really regret my actions. It was uncalled for. Sometimes frustration pops up, but I apologize to our team. I want to apologize to our athletic department and our university. I've been doing this a long time. I have great respect for the officials. I have really high standards for myself and for my team in the way we represent Penn State. And again, my actions failed to do that. And that's on me. I should know, but I'm really extremely disappointed in myself. Obviously, I've definitely learned from this experience, and it won't happen again. And again, I'm truly sorry. I would never want to put anybody in this situation, and it was just something a little bit out of character. So I just really wanted to start with that because I am really disappointed in myself, and we'll learn and move on from this.
Corey Dacker, we'll begin with you, and then Mark Brennan, you're on deck.
Jim, I was going to save this for later after asking about the game, but since you brought it up, Jim, was the punishment about your comments and that alone to us on the media, or
Corey, I'm really not going to discuss that right now. I acted inappropriately after the game. I made a comment to the officials, and it's just, I accept the responsibility. Okay, and that's really all I'm going to say, guys. All right, I'd like to talk about our game now.
If I can follow up with
next, Corey, we're going to move on. Mark Brennan, we're going to go to you next, and then Justin Morgenstein. Thank you.
Hey, Jim, I think I'm unmuted. Am I?
I can hear you. Yep, Mark.
Okay, thank you. Hey, what was the idea behind going to the zone in this game? I think everybody knows what kind of matchup problems this team presents, and it looked as if you struggled with it a little bit. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but can you tell me how things went for you using it?
Yeah, well, you know what? We actually been playing it pretty well. We played it pretty well against Purdue the other night. Against Indiana, it worked well for us. We just felt matchup-wise, we had to try to get them off balance a little bit and really limit our fouling. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Just try to, normally you foul less in zone, be able to contain penetration better, put guys in positions closer to the rim. And I thought, we had some good stops early, but then they hurt us on the offensive glass, which is obviously something that pops up playing zone. But it's been showing up in our man-to-man too. So, again, we're still working, man. This was our 8th game or 9th game, and we're still a work in progress. We're competing, and we're getting better. And having to make an adjustment to this game, we just don't match up very well to this Illinois team.
Justin Morgenstein, we'll go to you, and then Nate Bauer, you're on deck.
Hey, Jim, I just wanted to ask you, the abundance of fouls over the past couple games especially, and over the conference schedule has been obviously kind of hurtful for you guys. I get playing physical, but, how do you kind of combat that while playing discipline at the same time?
Yeah, we've done a lot. We're trying to do a lot of different things, showing a lot of tape and showing what, why we're fouling. Are we fouling because we're out of position? Are we fouling because we're using our hands? Are we fouling because we're not in our stances? So we're breaking all this down. It has to get better. And some of it, is the front court matchups have really been tough for us. We're not as big, as physical. Johnny's really physical. We just don't have depth at the front court. And even at the 4 spot, we're not maybe as big. So we've kind of changed the lineup a little bit. And we've had to work defensively to contain better so that we're not getting broken down into rotations and getting hurt on glass.
Nate Bauer, let's go to you next, and then we'll go to Rob Colley.
Hey, Jim. It seemed like John had a particularly kind of tough night. Did you see anything that led you to think that would happen for him? Specifically, I guess, on the offensive end, some chippies.
Good question. John was tremendous against Purdue. I thought it was one of his best games of his career. So you got John banging with, a 6'10" kid, a 7'4" kid, laying it out on the line, and now he's got to bang against Kofi Coburn and these guys, and it looked like it wore him down a little bit. It looked like he didn't have explosion. I mean, he missed layups that he normally doesn't miss. There's a little of that fatigue, maybe back-to-back games like this where we haven't played in a while. But John's such a warrior, and he competes, and I think we got to get him rest. I think we got to get him after these physical battles that he has with these big guys. I think it wore him down a little bit.
Rob McCauley, let's go to you next, and then we'll go back to Mark Brennan.
Thanks, Rose. Jim, you haven't had the same month of growth that Illinois has, obviously. And I wonder, the narrative here is that Adam Miller has become a reliable defender, for example, whereas when you first played him, he was just playing like a freshman. What kind of differences did you see in this game versus what you saw a month ago, if any?
I thought, as a team, their whole defensive disposition was significantly different. They were really physical. They were physical with our guards. They were physical in ball screens. It looked like a team. They were playing with a sense of urgency. They just lost 2 games in a row at home, and I thought you could tell defensively they were really locked in, trying to take some stuff away from us, being really physical with our guys. You got to give them credit, And again, when you have Kofi inside and you have Ayo on the outside, that's a great combination, and I think it allows other guys to just play. Those other guys really don't have to do much. They can play off of those guys, and that's why I think it makes them a really good team.
Okay, we do have a flight to catch, so we're going to go with Mark Brennan, Tanyan Luce, and Justin Morgenstein, and that'll end this session.
Jim, can you tell us about what went into the starting lineup change? How did you think Seth responded? And it seemed as if Trent struggled a little bit out there with foul trouble.
Yeah, I just think we needed a little change. I think we needed, especially coming into this game, I think we needed to be a little bit bigger at the forward positions. And it really wasn't things that Seth wasn't doing well. I kind of sat down and said, let's give you a different view of the game, Maybe if he can see the game, what's going on, he'll feel a little bit more comfortable coming into the game, coming off the bench with a scorer's mentality. I thought Seth handled it really well. Made some threes. He had 5 rebounds. Trent got in foul trouble really quick, which is something that we got to get better at. So again, guys, I know I keep saying it, and I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, but we haven't played a lot. Okay, we're still trying to figure out who we are as a team. And you can't just do that in practice all the time. So we're still in that mode, but we are getting better. I know it didn't look like it tonight, but we're getting better. And we will continue to get better. That's what we got to focus on.
Tanyan Luce, let's go to you, and Justin Morgenstein, you'll have the final question.
Hi, Coach. It just seemed like there were some moments of frustration on the court at times among your players. Do you think that is just kind of coming through? Because, there's been some tough moments for your team this season. Do you think that you kind of need your seniors to step up at moments more on the court? Or do you think that what do you think is happening?
What, Tyan, I think we have a bunch of competitors. Okay, we have a bunch of guys that are competitors, and a bunch of guys that have worked really hard, and a bunch of guys that have dealt with a lot of adversity. People don't understand the sacrifices that these guys have made. And then to get, have a pause and all, it's been a lot. It's been hard on everybody. It's been really hard on everybody. We're trying to get them not to lose their poise. These guys are great kids. They're working really hard. And the frustration, I think, is we're real competitors. We got a lot of guys that have won games and trying to find ourselves right now. And then it's starting to feel a little frustration. So that's my job, to get us back and get us back focused on what we do well and kind of clean up some of the things we're doing wrong. But kids are working really hard, and we are getting better, believe me, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Justin Morgenstein, we'll go with you for the final question of tonight's session.
Jim, you were part of the staff 2 years ago that went 0-10 to start the conference season. Does this feel different than that, or what did you maybe learn from that you can use now?
Well, we're going to use all of our experiences. I've been a head coach for 20 years, coaching close to 30 years. Use all the experience. Every team is different. Every season is different. But there's a lot of character in this locker room. Okay, and there's a lot of guys that were on that team that was 0-10, and we will fall back on that. It's everybody do your job. As the coaching staff, do our job. Every day focus on what's in front of us. That's what we did during that stretch. Okay, is we just focused on getting better, right? We shut out all the outside noise and you just focus on getting better, getting better, and getting better. And that's what we're going to continue to do here. Like I said, we got a lot of high character guys in this program, and we're just going to keep plugging away. You can't, and again, in a league like this, I mean, if I'm correct, a couple of teams have lost 4 in a row, 5 in a row, like really, really, really good teams. And our schedule's been tough and very unbalanced with playing and not playing. So we just got to keep focusing on ourselves and really have a positive approach and a positive attitude.